The Pelicans front office, spearheaded by their new general manager, David Griffin, continues to maximize the benefits of the Anthony Davis trade. New Orleans got a lot of draft picks from the Lakers, including the number 4 overall pick last night, and they flipped that 4th pick to Atlanta. Let's take a look now at this screen. You see what the details of this deal were. They got the 4th pick from the Pelicans. They used it to draft Virginia forward DeAndre Hunter. Pelicans got 8, 17, and 35 last night, and you see some of the players they picked up. They made themselves a very athletic front court and a very interesting team. Laura and Woj pick it up from there.
Yeah, we welcome in Adrian Wojnarowski, who has not had any sleep, but of course he's still here with us. And Woj, let's start with the trade between the Pelicans and the Hawks. How did it go down? Because you started reporting this in the afternoon yesterday.
Well, really since New Orleans won the draft lottery, that conversation has gone on. And the Anthony Davis trade then gave them more picks in New Orleans to work out a deal with Atlanta. Atlanta had 8, 10, and 17 in this draft. They were always kind of the natural trade partner for New Orleans. New Orleans really canvassed the league. They were talking seriously with Minnesota, who's trying to get up. Cleveland was trying to get up. Boston talked to them. But in the end, the ability for David Griffin to be able to move back in the lottery, get Jackson Hayes, who he thinks with Zion Williamson gives him maybe the most athletic front court in the league, made sense for both teams. And Atlanta, second year in a row, their GM, Travis Schlenk, targeted somebody in the top part of the draft that he wanted. Last year was Trae Young. This year, DeAndre Hunter, who now is, maybe he's a defender who can guard multiple positions, maybe the best defensive player in this draft from the defending national champions at Virginia. And I think for the Hawks, they have put together now a core of young players over the last draft, and this one getting Cam Reddish at number 10 also. The Hawks are positioned to really rise pretty quickly in the Eastern Conference, and the assets from that Anthony Davis trade keep multiplying for the Pelicans. I think both teams got exactly what they wanted out of that draft last night.
Yeah, it was fascinating. I agree with you about DeAndre Hunter, great defensive player. Let's take a look at everything the Pelicans got from trading Anthony Davis. This is crazy. They gave up 1 year of Anthony Davis, Solomon Hill, and the $12.8 remaining on his deal, the 57th pick yesterday, and a future second rounder. What they received in return is enough to make Herschel Walker blush. That includes 3 players under 25 from the Lakers, 3 of the top 35 picks in the draft last night, and 4 more picks through 2024. You can't say enough about this when you see all of that just put on paper there on the screen by Himbo. What sticks out to you, Woj?
Well, and not just those assets, it's clearing the cap space. They were able to get Solomon Hill and that $12.5 million off the books. Now the Pelicans are a player in free agency. They will have upwards of perhaps $30 million to go out and pursue. They could pursue a max free agent. I don't know that that they might be in the game for any of them. If they wanted to go after Al Horford, they could do that. But they want, I think the ability to draft Zion Williamson changed how New Orleans was going to do this post Anthony Davis rebuild. That with him in the middle of this, they could keep Drew Holiday, an all-star level guard there. They get 2 starters in Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and you bring another free agent into that group. This is a playoff team in the West. Typically, when you trade a player of Anthony Davis's caliber from a small market team, you're headed for a full rebuild. And they've done just the opposite in New Orleans.
Yeah, you could almost argue that by trading their best player, New Orleans got better. This whole thing is really fascinating, Greeny.